Hello everybody, this is Fernando for the latest Cryptids and Monsters video. Alright, let's go ahead, let's do another entry here. This one based on one of your newer suggestions. This one has been suggested in the past as well. I recall briefly looking up the information on it but deciding to do other things. But this did interest me even back then, so thank you so much again for re-suggesting it, and it gave me a chance to go back and look and provide all this great info for this creature. This is something when I was reading it, it instantly reminded me of it just begging to belong in, let's say, the world of Star Wars, or maybe even if you wanted to go in the world of Stephen King, something along the lines of those monsters within the mist. I love the notion of these things just having such real world applications, such as this thing right here. So when I was reading this, it just begs to be placed within any one of those entertainment formats, and apparently it exists somewhere out there in France, no less. So if you're in the French area, if you wanted to have a chance to see this particular creature, then I'll provide the information for you here. It has to do with this. You're looking at it now. You'll realize why I claim that it just begs to be in the world of Star Wars. It's known, interestingly enough, as the Carcolh. So let's go ahead and let's talk about all the information associated with this creature. So what is this Carcolh? When I first heard that, I thought it was like a name, like it was an actual name, but no, it's and instead of it being like a personal name, it's the actual creature's name. Well, essentially, it's something that dwells within southwest France, particularly there in the underground caverns. So more on that here in a little bit. But yes, this thing has been around for a long time, so much so that it's in fact part of their folklore. In fact, you're looking at this picture here, which showcases that it's been chronicled for who knows how long. I mean, you're looking at something here that is, at least based on this old page, it's been around for hundreds of years, and it could still be around to this very day. As far as its physical characteristics, think of it this way. All you got to do is just take your average snail, or if you wanted a better definition of it, a mollusc, and then increase it many times over. Gigantic. Again, like I was mentioning, the world of the mist, all those giant fantastic creatures that were within the movie. Imagine something like this, that similar size. So you take that, stretch the body of it, make it almost like a serpent, and then on its head, where you would normally see, in this case, the recognizable face of a snail, you would still see it there, but then you would have something along the lines of these weird, bizarre, hairy tentacles that seem to come out of it. In fact, that seems to be its main primary source of attack. These tentacles have been described as being long, and in some cases very long, where they could extend, if you could believe this, for several miles over. Who knows, you know, where all that extra mileage comes from within its body, or if it just stretches to just this unnatural length. But either way, these tentacles it uses, and it comes out of its maw, and it's just a very frightful sight. They can also be described as being hairy, and of course, in nature, when it comes to, in the nature of horror movies, having it be slime covered, and it just overall has just this gruesome, just horror related look to it. Definitely something out of your nightmares, not something that you absolutely want to ever come across this creature. But yes, that's in essence its physical characteristics. Interesting enough, I wonder where it would find a shell, something like that, unless it grew itself that shell altogether. And if that shell is still, let's say, withdrawn afterward. You know how some creatures out there, they move from one shell to another. Makes me wonder why we haven't seen more of these gigantic, just enormous shells lying around in that area. But yes, coming back to France, so if you wanted to find this creature, its exact location, you have to go to southwest France, particularly the caverns, the underground caverns that seem to permeate that area. And I guess if you wanted to go even more so, towards a more localized spot. Apparently, there's a city called Hastings, if I'm saying that correctly. But there, that creature, it's maybe been there for so long, or the myth of it has been there for so long that it's become part of the culture there. That location in Hastings, they seems to has this rounded shaped hills, as is described, where that's where people tie the two together. Not exactly sure if that means that the creature lives around that area, or maybe the look of the hill reminds people of this cryptid, of this Carcolh. But either way, it's become part of their own culture there, so much so that there's a phrase that they say, the Carcolh will catch you in that city. So that was very interesting to read on that too. But yes, back to the creature itself. You do not want to come across this cryptid, because it is absolutely out there to hunt you down, and it will just create havoc. Remember, The Force Awakens, there's those gigantic, I don't even know what they're called, but there's those rounded spherical creatures that were within some of the cargo that Han Solo was trying to get. Had they just swallowed some of the people, or some of the crew members there, pretty much alive, and swallowed them whole. Such is the concept here of this Carcolh. So this creature will come out of its cave. Maybe it'll even just wait and then pounce from its cave, or it may not even have to, considering again the tentacles and how long they stretch outwards. Either way, though, from its cave, it'll ensure that it can ensnare anybody that happens to come across it. So it'll take the people, whatever it catches, ensnare it with its long tentacles, and then drag it back to its cave. And then if you think that you're going to be essentially killed quickly, you better think again, because then this creature is known to swallow you whole. That's probably like one of the worst ways to go in that realm of movie deaths, because imagine if you're swallowed whole, then most likely you're gonna be within its digestive tract for who knows how long, slowly dying, and then no doubt being eaten alive by its acidic entrails, or whatever it considers its entrails within itself. So imagine that you're swallowed whole by this creature, and then you're gonna be living out the rest of your short life in that very, very horrifying time period. Reminded me too, when I was reading this, of that scene in Jurassic World. I can't remember what that giant sea creature was, but the one in the aquarium, how it swallowed that poor girl pretty much whole, and then I could just picture afterward like what was happening to her within that creature's stomach. Such is the case here with the Carcolh. So, but that's it. Not much more info to share. This creature, whatever it is, it seems to be very well hidden. Not much more evidence other than just artistic renderings, let alone anything involving like photographs or video involving this creature. So it seems to have just found, wherever it's there in France, perfect places to just stay hidden and live its life. Maybe there's even a small crew of them out there that just happen to exist and then just live and die and then just continue thereafter. But if anybody has any more info, anything I might have missed, maybe somebody out there that has been there to that location there in southwest France knows more about its history. It's been out there for a long time. Again, all these all these drawings that I was showing earlier, these old drawings prove this has been around for hundreds of years. Then there's got to be more tales associated to it. So if anybody has that info, even from a local experience, you know how much I love those, then please post those comments below. It'd be great to hear. So, alright everybody, thanks again as always. Take care.